3 strategies that people use to earn money. I think you're going to find some of these numbers to be absolutely shocking, but after we take a few minutes and talk through this, I don't think you're going to be all that surprised for much longer. So with that being said, let's get into it and discuss all the details. But really quickly before we do, if you haven't done so yet, or if you happen to be new here, welcome to the channel, and please make sure to hit the subscribe button right down below the video, as it's totally free and I'm here to help you out in any way that I can through these videos. Thanks again, I really appreciate it. Let's talk through this. All right, just to give you a quick little teaser, what if I told you that 1% of the population earns 95+% of all the money that is being earned? Would you believe that? Well, we're actually going to talk about that a little bit more in detail in just a minute. Now again, before we get into all these details and the strategies that I mentioned just a second ago, I just want to mention, this is happening all around the world, regardless of the country that you visit, the continent that you're investigating, or the continent that you're on. This is not specific to the United States. It's not specific to North America or any specific country at all. This is all over the entire world, and it has been happening for centuries and centuries. This is just how it's laid out. And these are the percentages that we're going to talk about in this video. It's a little bit surprising, but at the same time, like I said, after we talk through it, I don't think you're going to be surprised for very long. All right, let's talk through this. Strategy number 1. This one is actually implemented by 96% of the population. Again, all over the world, it is ubiquitous. Regardless of where you look, this is all over the place. 96% of the population uses strategy number 1. It also happens to be, unfortunately, the worst of the strategies. So, here's what it is. Trading time for money. So maybe somebody reports to a job and earns an hourly wage, or maybe it's a salary. So here's the thing. You report to a job, you trade your time, 1 hour of your time, for a specified amount of money. Maybe it's $15 an hour, maybe it's $20 an hour, maybe it's $50 an hour. Who knows, whatever it is. But essentially, trading time for money, right? So trading 1 hour of time for a set wage, or a salary being, maybe it's 5 days a week, 10 hours a day, and you get to $300 a day, whatever it is. I'm just making up numbers. So my point is, this is what 96% of the population does. Unfortunately, it's not the best of the strategies. All right, let's move on to strategy number 2. This one is used by 3% of the population. So only 3 out of every 100 people actually use this strategy. You'll know why here in just a second, because you actually need kind of deep pockets. You need money to be able to do this one. And it is using money to make more money. So being like a professional investor. Let me give you a quick example. Warren Buffett. Everybody knows Warren Buffett, right? He's a multi-billionaire. He's very good at what he does. He does exactly this. He takes money, invests that money, and then multiplies the money through his investments. Well, somebody like a Warren Buffett, he's got it going on, right? He knows what he's doing, but he's a very small percentage of the people out there. He's one of only 3 out of 100 people that can actually do this. And again, you either need to have your own money, a lot of your own money, or you need to be somebody who has credibility where people will believe in you and they'll give you their money where you can invest it for them, make money for them, make money on their money, and then of course you'd be paid some kind of commission or some kind of fees or something like that because of your services and your expertise in making money out of money, right? So like multiplying money. So this one is only used by 3 out of every 100 people. That's a pretty small percentage, right? 3%. All right, the next group here. This one is used by 1% of the people. So it's getting pretty small here, right? Only 1% of the population actually uses this strategy. Now, really quickly, this last 4%, so the 3% that takes money and makes more money with it, plus the 1% we're talking about here, for a total of 4%. This 4% earns 95+% of all the money in the world. Yeah, right? So it's mostly the 1% of the people. So this next group that I'm going to talk about right now, the 1%, they are the vast majority of people who make 95+% of the money out there in the world right now. That's why these two strategies, strategy number 2 and strategy number 3, are by far the best, right? But like I said, strategy number 2, you kind of need to have a lot of money in order to do that. Of course, you can do it on a smaller scale, but it's going to take a long time to build up a portfolio big enough to actually make some serious money, right? But it can be done. It's certainly been done before, and it can certainly be done again. All right, strategy number 3. Again, used by 1% of the population. 1 out of every 100 people walking around in the world are using this strategy. And it is multiple sources of income. So you're leveraging time, you're leveraging people, you're leveraging money by getting multiple sources of income. This one is absolutely powerful. So let's explain this a little bit further here. So here's the deal. Setting up multiple sources of income, not to be mistaken with getting multiple jobs. No, multiple jobs is not the answer at all. In fact, multiple jobs is probably the worst thing you could possibly do. Here's the thing. I'll give you a quick little point on why multiple jobs is the worst thing you could possibly do. Because there's something called saturation. You can only work so many hours each and every day for so long before you need to rest. Therefore, you can only earn so much. Your income and your earnings on a daily basis are capped simply because you could only work about 24 hours a day, maybe for a day or two until you need to rest because you're exhausted, right? So that is saturation. So getting multiple jobs is not the answer. However, multiple sources of income is the answer, which is what people have been doing literally for centuries. This is where the people get super rich. When you see people that are like mega rich, like multi-billionaires, people like this, they don't do it through one source of income. They don't go and get this rich by having one job and working 40 hours a week. There's no way. There's no way that somebody can become a multi-billionaire doing that. I'm just being honest with you. There's just no possible way. It is not feasible, especially working 40 hours a week when you're given 50% of your money in taxes. There's just no way that it can become that way. There's just no possible way. It is not possible. So here's the thing. Multiple sources of income do make it possible. So here's how this can be achieved. People can get multiple sources of income. There's no cap on the number of incomes that you can have. You can have 1 million sources of income if you just so wanted to do so. There's nothing saying you can't. There's no law. There's no rule. There's nothing saying that you can't have 1 million sources of income. You can have as many as you want. Now here's the thing. There's income sources in so many different ways. You can get it through royalties. You can get it through licensing. You can get it through commissions, dividends. You can get it through rental income. You can get it through investment income. You can get sources of income through so many different ways. It's unbelievable. It's literally endless. You can go on and on and on forever talking about all these different things that you could set up, setting up multiple sources of income. And this is exactly how very wealthy people do it. In fact, studies have been out and they say the average millionaire has 7 sources of income. That's just the average. Apparently, millionaires have 7 sources of income. And again, it's probably all across the board. Millionaires, they probably have like a job, so they probably work a job. That's probably one source. Maybe they have a rental property or 2 on the side. That's another source or 2 of income. They probably have some dividend income from maybe some stocks that they own. Maybe they have some royalty or commission income or something like that on the side. Maybe they, sell some kind of product on the side and they get a little kickback or commission. Maybe they have dividends that they've invested in stocks, and each and every quarter they get a dividend check in their mailbox. That's another source of income. Maybe at some point they wrote a book or a song, or they had something to do with a movie or something like that. And they get royalty income. After they did the initial work up front, for years and years down the road, they will continue getting royalty income from that. So here's the thing. Multiple sources of income is the ticket if a person just so wants to become very, very wealthy. And this is what only 1% of the population does. 1 out of 100 people. That's a very, very small percentage. But guess what? They make the vast majority of the money. 95% of the money that's being earned out there is by these 1%ers. That's why they're 1%ers, right? Because they have all of these different things set up. So, and typically, this is just typically how it works, but typically the 96% that we talked about in example number 1 typically work for the 1%. Yeah, because they're the ones who own the businesses usually. That's another really big one right there, is the 1%ers usually own a business and they usually employ maybe 10, 100, 1,000, thousands of people, maybe 1 million people. Look at Jeff Bezos, for example. The richest person in the world, $200+ billion of net worth. How did he do it? Well, he built Amazon, right? From the ground up, Amazon was built in his garage. Kind of a funny story. I love hearing stories like that. But yeah, he built Amazon in his garage, and now look at it. Amazon impacts how many millions of people every single day? I don't know about you, but my wife buys stuff on Amazon, unfortunately, probably every day. So yeah, the Amazon guy is at our door delivering stuff every single day. So yeah, anyway, my wife, I need to take her phone away from her or like delete the Amazon app or something, because seriously, it's costing me a lot of money. I got to tell you guys, like every single day, the Amazon guy's here and I'm like, hey, Corey, what did you buy today? And she's like, oh, it's just this. And it's like, well, why do we have 4 packages then? You know what I mean? So my point is, Jeff Bezos, he is the richest person in the world because he built Amazon, and it has like hundreds of multiple income streams. Within Amazon alone, it has tons and tons of income streams. It's unbelievable how many different income streams are just under the umbrella of Amazon, right? But not only that, he's one person, Jeff Bezos, but yet there's millions, over 1 million employees of Amazon alone. So one person employs millions of people, right? Get what I'm saying? So he's the 1%er, and the 96% are working for him. Get what I'm saying? So this is not a slam on anybody. I'm just giving you examples so you can apply it to real life situations that you see out in the real world. So hope this kind of lays things out here, but yeah, a very interesting concept, right? So I hope this gets you thinking a little bit, but seriously, if you can set up multiple sources of income, man, your life could absolutely change as a result of everything going on. So, hope this gets you thinking. I hope it gets you a little bit excited. Feel free to leave any comments or questions down below. Share this video with your friends, family, social media. Make sure to subscribe right down below the video as well. And I'll continue to be here for you each and every day. Thanks again. I really appreciate you, and I'll see you in the next video.